Imagine this, right now. I hand you 1,000, tax-free, no strings attached. What would you do first? Buy a house? A Tesla? Quit your job? Most people think that money would solve everything. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Within 5 years, a shocking number of people who suddenly get rich end up broke again. Not because 1 million isn't enough, but because they were never taught how to handle money in the first place. And that's what this video is really about. Because if you don't understand money, even $10 million will disappear from your life. And in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you why most people in America stay stuck financially, and what actually separates the wealthy from everyone else. But first, let me tell you a story. There was once a professional NFL player who earned over 20 million in his career. From the outside, he had everything: luxury cars, mansion, fame, influence. But just a few years after retiring, he was broke. How does that happen? It's simple. He had a high income, but no financial system, no investment strategy, no understanding of how money grows. So when the paychecks stopped, everything collapsed. And this is not rare. According to financial studies in the US, a large percentage of professional athletes end up broke within years of retirement. But here's the key lesson. It was never about how much they earned. It was about what they did with what they earned. And that brings us to the real problem most Americans face. Most people grow up believing a simple formula. Go to school, get a job, work hard, retire at 65. But in today's economy, that formula is broken for many people. Because while income rises slowly, expenses rise quickly. Rent goes up, insurance goes up, healthcare goes up. And the biggest trap of all? Debt. Credit cards in the US now carry interest, rates that can quietly destroy wealth over time. So what happens? People earn more, but still feel broke. A $50,000 salary feels tight. A $100,000 salary still feels tight, because lifestyle expands with income. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it silently keeps millions of Americans stuck. But the wealthy think differently. They don't just ask, how much can I earn? They ask, how much can I keep and grow? And that difference changes everything. But there's something even deeper going on. Something most people never notice. Let's make this real. If you spend $6 every day on coffee in America, that's about $180 per month. Now imagine investing that same $180 instead. At an average market return over time, that small habit becomes thousands, then tens of thousands of dollars. But here's the shocking part. It's not about coffee. It's about what we ignore financially every single day. Small leaks, small habits, small decisions that slowly shape your entire financial future. And most people never calculate it, because it feels too small to matter. But wealth is never destroyed in one big moment. It's destroyed in thousands of small ones. And in the next section, I'm going to show you the invisible force making all of this worse. Something almost nobody talks about: inflation. Most people think the biggest threat to their money is spending, but there's something far more dangerous. Something silent, something constant: inflation. Let's break it down simply. 10 years ago in the United States, $100 could buy a lot more than it does today. Same money, less value. That means even if you save money in a basic savings account, you might still be losing purchasing power over time. And that's the part most people don't realize. Because inflation doesn't look like theft. It looks normal. Prices slowly increase. Wages try to keep up, but often lag behind. So what happens? People feel like they're running on a treadmill, working harder, but not really moving forward. And that leads to the next trap. In America, millions of people live in a cycle that looks like this: get paid, pay bills, spend, repeat. And by the end of the month, almost nothing is left. This is what experts call living paycheck to paycheck. Even for people earning $60,000, $80,000, sometimes even $100,000 a year. So why does this happen? It's not always because people don't earn enough. It's because spending rises automatically with income. New salary, new car payment, small raise, upgrade apartment, bonus, new lifestyle upgrade, and slowly. Financial pressure never disappears. It just changes shape. But there is one simple rule that wealthy people follow, a rule most people ignore. They pay themselves first, before rent, before bills, before anything. And that one habit changes everything over time. But let's go deeper, because even people who save still make a critical mistake. There was a famous study in the United States. Many lottery winners end up broke within a few years. Some even go into debt. How? Because sudden money doesn't create financial discipline. It only amplifies habits. If someone is bad with $50,000 a year, they are usually bad with $5 million too. Money doesn't fix behavior, it exposes it. And that's why financial education matters more than income. Because without the right mindset, even luck becomes temporary. But what if there was a different way to think about money entirely? A system used by the wealthy for generations, not just to earn money, but to multiply it. Most people focus on income. The wealthy focus on ownership, because income is limited by time, but ownership is not. You can only work so many hours in a day. But a business, an investment, or an asset can work 24/7, while you sleep, while you eat, while you rest. And that shift in thinking is where financial freedom begins. But to understand this fully, we need to talk about something most people misunderstand completely: assets versus liabilities. At this point, you might think wealth is about income, but that's not the full picture. Because two people can earn the same $80,000 a year and end up in completely different financial realities. Why? Assets versus liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Simple, but most people misunderstand this completely. For example, a house you live in might feel like an asset, but if it costs you thousands every month in mortgage, taxes, insurance, and repairs, it may actually function more like a liability in the short term. A car? It loses value the moment you drive it off the lot. That's why many wealthy people focus less on looking rich and more on building things that produce income. Stocks, businesses, real estate rentals, digital products, even skills that generate high income. Because the goal is not just to earn money. The goal is to own things that make money for you. And once you understand this, you start seeing money differently. But there's another powerful force that multiplies wealth over time, and most people underestimate it completely. Most people think wealth comes from big moves, a big business, a big break, a big investment. But real wealth is usually built quietly, 1% at a time. Imagine improving your financial knowledge or income skills by just 1% every day. At first, it feels meaningless. You don't notice much change, but over time, it compounds, like interest, like growth, like momentum. This is why two people with the same starting point can end up in completely different financial worlds. One learns nothing, the other learns consistently. One spends impulsively, the other improves daily. And after a few years, the gap becomes massive. Not because one moment changed everything, but because thousands of small decisions did. And now we get to something practical. Because knowing is not enough. You need action. There's a popular idea online: build 10 income streams. But for most beginners, that's unrealistic. The real goal? Start with one extra stream, then build from there. Because relying on only one source of income is risky. If it stops, everything stops. So what can a normal person in the US actually do? Freelancing, a small online business, investing consistently in index funds, learning a high-income skill like sales, tech, or marketing, even content creation over time. The point is not to do everything. The point is to stop depending on just one thing. Because financial stability is not about how much you earn. It's about how many directions money can flow into your life. But now, let's bring everything together. If you want a real shift in your financial life, here's a simple challenge. For the next 30 days, track every dollar you spend, every single one. No guessing, no ignoring. Second, save or invest a small portion of your income first, before anything else, even if it's just 5%. Third, learn something about money every day, not motivation, education. Because financial freedom starts in the mind first. And if you do this consistently, you will not stay the same person financially. Not because of magic, but because awareness changes behavior, and behavior changes outcomes. At the beginning of this video, we talked about what you would do with $1 million. But now you understand something deeper. The real question was never about the money. It was about the mindset that handles the money. Because if you don't control your habits, you won't control your wealth. But if you do, even a small income can grow into something far bigger over time. Most people will watch this video and move on. A few will actually apply it. And those few are the ones who eventually change their financial future. So the question is simple. Which one are you going to be? Click subscribe to join a community of wealthy thinkers.